There are legends round here, even if only in their own minds. Forgotten, but not dead. Some have tried to stop them, but they keep coming back. Coming to entertain you. They are the Crystal Lake Soldiers.
Welcome back to the Crystal Lake Soldiers podcast. This is episode 12. I'm Isaiah, joined as always by Sean, Mark, and Ted. What is going on, you guys?
Doing pretty good, man.
Yeah, man. It was a pretty good day. Glad to be here. Looking forward to it all week.
Me as well.
Definitely good. Definitely good.
So, oh god, that's good. So we're obviously in the middle of October. I can't believe October is like halfway over already.
Yeah.
I mean, it's halfway over. It's fucking snowing here.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
we were in like
Awesome.
30-degree weather,
Dang.
and it's fucking snowing outside.
I hope there's snow on a football game tomorrow. Anyways.
I mean, I woke up and I saw the temperature because my wife actually had to turn on the heat last night because it got so cold in here. It got under like 60 degrees in the house. And, you know, I wake up this morning and it's all just cloudy, kind of raining, and right away it turns into snow as we leave to go to fucking Target to do grocery shopping. So this whole day I'm like, yeah, thanks for rubbing that in. But we're in the middle of October, the month of Halloween. It's still the best month of the year. I don't give a shit. Yes. I mean, it can snow, it can be cold. It's still the best month. So I know we've been talking about the movies that we've been watching, you know, or wanting to watch for the month. What have you guys been watching this week?
I watched Child's Play, Addams Family Values, and I kind of slacked the rest of the week, so I got to make up for it maybe tomorrow.
I think it's
but in the Halloween spirit, I did go to a haunted trail, and it was fun as crap.
Woohoo!
Awesome. What were you gonna say, Ted?
Saying I didn't, because of work, I didn't get to watch a lot, but I did watch Roger Corman's classic A Bucket of Blood this week. I got the new Blu-ray because it went down in price, so I picked it up and watched it, and it's excellent, and I love that movie. It's so funny. Dick Miller's the best.
He is the best.
Man. I love some Dick Miller.
Walker Paisley.
We know you do.
Yeah, after I said that, I was like, man, I don't think I ever want to say that again.
Oh man, did you get to watch anything, Sean?
I watched Last House on the Left and Nightmare on Elm Street 2 and 3 because I was sad I didn't get to go to the Mahoning to watch it. So.
Okay. Yep.
And I watched Child's Play, the first one. So I was gonna watch the other ones, but I didn't get to.
Yeah.
And Creepshow. I've been keeping up with Creepshow.
Yeah, same here. Me and my wife actually watched the first 3 episodes today for that.
Yeah, it's great
I'm kind of into it. It's kind of all over the place, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, I like
it's like
that.
different for each segment.
Stories. You don't know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
It might be a little bit funny, a little bit of horror, or whatever.
Yep.
Just weird. But reminds me of like Monsters and Tales from the Dark Side and stuff like that. A little bit.
Definitely.
I think my favorite so far was the House of the Head or something like that.
Yes, I love that one.
That was great.
That one was good. But on top of Creepshow, I've been kind of all over the place with what I've been watching. So I've watched Halloween 5 because that was on AMC yesterday. So I ended up watching that. I ended up watching Scream 2. And then while I was at work on, I think it was Wednesday, maybe Thursday, one of the two, they did a Jaws marathon. So they were showing that at work. So
That's
they
awesome.
actually started with part 4 and worked their way back to 1. So we watched all 4 Jaws movies, which was great.
Start with the worst, end with the best.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a good way to keep
Exactly.
everybody into it. So
Yep.
I do that at
'cause they
around
started.
July 4th. I always watch all those.
Okay. Yep, makes sense. Yeah, they started early in the morning. And yeah, by the time I was leaving, they were ending part 1. So it all ended up working out pretty good. But that's kind of what I've been watching too. But we got a good show for you guys tonight. We're gonna start off talking about a little bit of wrestling here, because obviously all the recent changes that have been happening with wrestling, with AEW now launched, and now NWA Power is being produced. We got a lot to talk about. So let's just start off. Let's just talk about the bullshit, which is WWE, because WWE doesn't learn. Let's just kind of talk a little bit about WWE. First off, Hell in a Cell on Sunday.
Oh,
I
that
think they're
ending
just being
sucked.
arrogant, man. I think Vince McMahon is actually so full of himself he thinks he can do whatever he wants, and we're all just going to keep watching his shit. I didn't
I
feel
watched
that way
Hell in-
before, but I kind of feel that way after this past week.
I watched
Yeah.
Hell in a Cell live on the network, and that ending sucked. I was screaming at my TV. I was like, what? Another no contest? The same thing they did last year? And I agree with Sean. There are rumors. I don't know. I can't verify this because I'm not in the backstage, obviously. But there are rumors that when the crowd was booing and chanting AEW, people were saying that Vince was actually laughing in the back. I'm like, if that's true,
Yep.
you better get ready, man, because people are going to jump ship. They already are jumping ship, because that was one of the worst endings I've ever seen in the history
How
of
can you
wrestling.
have a cage match end in a no contest? Like, I've never... It doesn't
Right.
even make
So,
sense.
It makes
it's
no
so
sense.
Especially with
it
the way they
doesn't.
did it. Like, how does piling a bunch of stuff on somebody and hitting the top of the stuff with a sledgehammer so vicious in the first damn place?
Well, Seth Rollins was hitting the Fiend in the head with that toolbox too, and the tools were flying out of the toolbox as
Thought it
soon as he was
no
hitting
rules,
them.
right? But you guys are-
Yeah, no rolls, but then you do the sledgehammer thing, and it's like, oh no, ring the bell. I'm like, really?
Right.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, can't you come, if you don't want the Fiend to be pinned to, you know, and you want to keep Seth in the belt, then have
They
something
shouldn't have
really
had a match
crazy
in the
happen.
first place.
Yeah.
But they shouldn't have had the match, but you know,
They're
you
gonna
could do
do that.
something like,
Or just give
you
the
could
belt
do
to the
something
Fiend.
really crazy. You could do something insane, like have the ring implode or have explode something. I don't know, just something insane. But not just like,
Somebody
oh,
gets
ring the
thrown through
bell.
a fucking wall or something, you know?
Yeah,
something.
Ring the bell, ding, ding, ding. I was angry. I couldn't even go to sleep right away. I had to freaking play some
Wrestling
PlayStation.
is
Yeah,
that, or-
I will be honest, because I didn't watch Hell in a Cell. I knew I wasn't going to, just because I wasn't feeling the card. I just felt it was a weak card for the most part. When I heard the rumor, because it hasn't been proven to be true, that, you know, Vince laughing at the end, when I heard that rumor that it was a possibility that, because that ending was all his idea and he was and him laughing about it, if that was true, that really pisses me off, because
Yeah.
it's just like, how can you be just so full of yourself? Number one, you're in a publicly traded company. You know, it's not a private company. You can't just play with it like it's your own playground now. You've got fucking investors and everything. And you're like fucking with everybody's bottom dollar by thinking something's funny and doing it because you feel like you want to.
Well,
You know.
here's the problem with that, though. He's the majority shareholder. He bought most of the stocks to begin with when they became public.
I don't know if the
So
rumors
he's-
are true or not. No, go ahead, Ted. I won't interrupt you.
No. That's fine. That's what I was gonna say, because you know he owns like, I can't remember it's a high percentage of the stock. He basically still owns the company. He's the majority shareholder. Period. He can do whatever he wants. Sadly, which is the case.
Still,
gonna
it's fucking with everybody
affect-
else's
yeah,
money that does
exactly.
put it into there. I mean, they just
Yeah.
signed this big deal with Fox, you know, on top of that. And,
I think
you know,
they know
that's
they
just-
fucked up because the next night on Raw, it was almost not even mentioned except for maybe 2 minutes of the entire show. So
Right.
Yeah, I watched half of Raw and I fell asleep because I was just
I
tired
watched
from work.
clips
But
and
yeah,
a
it
review.
was
I'll be
bullcrap.
honest, because I'm a little turned off by WWE. So outside of NXT,
Oh, I
I didn't
know,
watch
yeah.
any of their stuff other than clips.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm all AEW, man. AEW is freaking amazing.
I've been regulating my WWE watching to just YouTube. You know,
exactly.
just like
That's
highlight
what I was
clips that
doing.
people put out.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I'm just kind of over WWE at this point. It was just
Step
they
it
really
up, man.
fucked up. You know, they had that 1 week, like we talked last week, for them to really make an impact, and they didn't make an impact. Number one,
They
No.
could have
And then-
finished it right with Hell in the Cell and made it at least feel better, but they dropped the ball. big
Yep.
time.
Yeah.
exactly. And now they got the whole bullshit with Crown Jewel. We knew it was coming, like Braun Strowman versus Tyson Fury.
And that was corny.
And then-
I felt like Raw was
Yep.
kind of generic and corny altogether.
Exactly. And then Cain Velasquez and Brock Lesnar again happening at Crown Jewel. So it's like, because Saudi Arabia is throwing all this fucking money at WWE, you know, they're doing these shitty ass matches. I mean, to Tyson Fury's credit though, he's been spending like every day at the Performance Center at least trying to make this match
Yeah, I mean, he's a
watchable.
fighter. I understand why.
Yeah.
I'm not against him. I don't. It's fun when they bring someone in, but when they put such a huge light on it, it
Yeah.
frustrates me sometimes because it's a
gonna
temporary
go
thing.
anywhere.
It's not going to mean anything 3 months from now. So
After Crown Jewel,
now, I've
after
heard
Crown Jewel, it's gonna
Velasquez
be
actually signed a deal with the WWE, so
Yes,
he might be staying
he did.
around for a while. So maybe that can turn into something better than what I thought
Now-
it was going to be. But
Here's kind of the biggest problem I have with it though, is that you look at like Braun Strowman and Tyson Fury, you know Tyson Fury's gonna fucking win.
yeah,
They're gonna
and
put
he's
him
gonna
over
do some
Braun Strowman.
knockout punch.
Yep. Which is gonna make Braun look like a bitch. I mean, how many times have they tried to build up Braun Strowman just to knock him back down? I mean, he's like one of the most popular guys that they have,
He's
and they
the
keep
new Big
squandering
Show.
him.
That's what they did
Yeah.
with the Big Show all the time
Basically.
back in the day, and that's what they're doing with Braun. He's the new Big Show.
And it's sad. It's really sad because
Yeah.
I mean, granted, he's making money. I mean, he's doing what he does, and he's making money. But at the same time, for
It's
the
hurting his
fans, it's
brand,
like,
though.
yeah, it
It hurts his
is,
own brand.
and it sucks because it's a guy that people want to see in the main event picture. They want to see him as champion,
Mm-hmm.
but they keep doing this whole build up and then knocking him down, build up, knocking him down. But
Get
I
these
digress.
hands.
yeah,
Means absolutely nothing at this point.
no, it really doesn't. But yeah, then they had the whole draft happen starting on SmackDown, which
That was
I don't give a crap
boring the way
about.
they did it, man.
Yeah.
Like, I've never been a fan of the draft ever, period. I've always
Me
thought it was a
neither.
ridiculous,
No.
stupid idea, unless they actually treated it like two separate companies, which they never do. And
Nope.
they never
No.
give it enough time to establish those, so it's corny. And this time, Stephanie read off names from a list on a piece of paper. Like,
So dumb.
I don't know what they're thinking. And I thought it was funny that, like, teams are supposed to go together, but Nikki Cross went by herself and not with Alexa Bliss. I don't understand what was going
Yeah.
on there.
So basically, what you're saying is them losing the tag team titles just so they can split them up and be.
But
done
what's
with it.
funny is on Raw they came out and jumped the Kabuki Warriors or whatever. So
So what's the point of splitting them up?
I don't know what they're thinking, man. That's what was kind of weird.
Freaking
about the
Vince,
whole
man.
draft
Vince is a
thing.
freaking idiot, man. I'm just saying it.
The only
Vince
good
McMahon's
thing
an
about
idiot.
SmackDown was seeing the whole Bayley thing finally come to a head as her as a heel.
yes,
So she's,
it's about time too.
yeah, she cut her hair.
I've been
and
saying she needs Edge.
popped
man.
her
She
balloons.
needs Edge.
and
See, I wish I could have seen
and
that.
she fought Charlotte like she didn't just wrestle. She fought her like she was trying to kick her ass. So she was trying to
Making
hurt
her heel is probably the best thing they ever done with that character at this point, man.
Yes,
It
and then
sounds
at the
great.
end, she got the biggest pop of the night when she said, "Screw all of you."
Yeah.
It was great. The only redeemable quality of that show for Friday. I mean, it
was
sucks.
Bailey.
Yep.
Screw all of you. Woo! I'd be
Wrestling
cheering too.
fans.
Woo! I love it that you hate me.
Oh, it's good. But that's enough talking about that shitty WWE right now. Let's talk AEW for a little bit here. So
Yes.
AEW, once again, another great show.
Yeah, that opening
Yes.
tag match is great, and I love some private party
man,
now. So,
Yes.
that's great.
I'm glad. When I was watching it Wednesday night, I was like, thinking probably everybody's like, oh, the Young Bucks are gonna win, but they didn't. I was like, this is great. They subverted my expectation. I was like, I
Exactly.
figured they
I
were
was like, man, they're not gonna let my Brooklyn guys win it. There's no way. They did, dude. It was a hell of a match too.
I do want to say
I thought
that
how they went kind of exaggerated the whole spot where, because so many people fly over the top rope into something. He just did it over and over and over. I don't remember the guy's name right off the top of my head.
You know what I like about AEW too is whenever people get thrown out of the ring and they jump back in the ring and somebody's about to like stomp on their head, they actually get out of the way. Unlike WWE when they like just take it. This feels like a real fight, real wrestling. It just doesn't feel 100% choreographed, even though we know it is, but because it's wrestling, but it doesn't feel that way. You're just like, what?
For sure, man.
Yeah, there's a lot more energy in these matches too. Just
Yeah.
The
more
stars
intensity.
are hungry. They know this is an opportunity. That makes a difference in a company when your stars are hungry.
Oh, it
like
does.
that.
Exactly.
And I think the atmosphere in WWE sometimes counter creates that. It doesn't always keep them as hungry. That's why NXT is as good as it is that hunger. And then they go over there and it's like, what are you doing?
Right. Yeah.
And that's and the way they ended AEW, I was just when I was watching, I was like, "That's how you end a show, Vince."
When he
This is
came
how
down
you
the
end the
ramp
show.
on the skateboard, I laughed so hard.
That was great. That was great.
I didn't know what was happening. I was like, "What the hell?"
No, it was awesome.
that whole chaos. It was just chaos. It was great. I loved every minute of it. It's like this is freaking wrestling here. This is what I want.
And I thought MJF was going to turn on Cody, but he didn't.
Oh, that was such a great.
Yeah, it was.
That was a great moment.
They really are best friends.
I gotta say
The
though,
inner
Darby
circle.
Allin is probably my favorite wrestler right now on that roster.
Hey, that was fun, man.
Yeah.
He is so out there and just
He's a little guy,
the risks
but
he takes.
puts on a good match, man. A good show.
I could definitely see him in that main event scene for them, especially with the world title and everything. I don't think he's definitely. I definitely don't think he's going to be Jericho.
Chris Jericho.
Because
He's the best in the world.
Right, just because as a standpoint for where they're going with Cody versus Jericho and everything, kind of the two groups going against each other. I definitely don't see Darby winning right now, but he's a good commodity for them to have for sure. Their whole roster is great.
Can I just say how much I appreciate their unscripted promos in AEW also?
Yeah.
How much I just love
That's
it.
great.
I mean, Jericho's always great on the mic, but I mean, everything feels so natural.
Yeah, because it's just talking shit
It's
instead
them.
of trying to
It's
remember
them,
a
yeah.
script, man. Not everybody's good at,
I could just hear
reciting
Vince at
lines.
WWE.
Not everyone's good at that, so.
I can hear Vince. I can just hear Vince do. You have to say the lines my daughter wrote because she's my little girl. You have to do it. Dagnabbit. Do it or you're fired.
It's
Freaking
probably so
AEW's
accurate.
AEW's so much better. Suck egg,
And I've
Vince.
heard they actually are beating NXT in the ratings, so. Even though I
it's
still
not surprising.
enjoy NXT, but AEW is a better show.
WWE is killing
I think
their own
WWE
product.
was kind of retarded in treating it. I felt like when they put NXT up against AEW, they were treating AEW like a second-rate show, like they've always treated NXT. It's like, I don't know, man. They're falling off. They're losing that battle.
Well, people
Losing that
are
battle for
abandoning. People are abandoning WWE full on. They don't even. Some of them still like NXT, but they said we're not supporting WWE anymore because we're tired of the crap. So they're like, we're not even going to watch NXT. So I was like, and I don't blame them. I mean, it sucks for NXT.
The only thing
and all
people
the
can
really
do
good
is stop
people.
watching WWE. That's the only way they're gonna step it up. So
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
stop
I
watching.
agree.
It'll
I
be
agree.
good for all of us.
So, speaking of companies being better than WWE. You know, we just talked AEW, but what about NWA? They had their first episode of Power, and holy shit.
I thought it was great.
Total nostalgia trip. Total nostalgia trip, and it was just perfect.
I felt like a little kid when I was watching it, dude.
Oh my god,
I
same
was
here.
like, man, I haven't seen nothing like this in so long. It was just, and it wasn't like some, you know, you knew you weren't watching a high dollar company like WWE, but you didn't even give a shit, man.
Yep.
It just felt like old fashioned talking shit, kicking ass, and Jim Cornette, man, come on, it was great.
Oh my god, seeing
I
Corny
love me
there
some
was
Corny.
great.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was happening.
I mean-
so
No, I didn't really know that either up until I started watching it. But oh my god, the whole studio, I mean, it really felt like back in the 70s and 80s, you know, for NWA's studio shows, you know, Georgia Championship Wrestling. So it had that look with the studio, even though obviously it looks modern, you know. And you know the old style ring
yeah, it just
was
felt
great.
all old school, man. It felt the whole thing did.
Yep.
James Storm being there, that was cool, man. He's got that. I've
Yeah.
always thought he's had that kind of an old school appeal, anyways. So
He kind of reminds me of like an Arn Anderson
yeah,
in a way.
tough, no nonsense
Definitely.
kind of guy.
Mm-hmm. And that title match between
Yeah, it was a good match,
Tim
man.
Storm
and I like the way they ended it.
Nick Aldis
and
was good.
Aldis gave Storm all his credit and everything. Again, even that felt old fashioned, man. So
Yep.
it was just all around like a return to old school wrestling, man. I'm looking forward to the next episode.
Yeah. So, for those of you that don't know, NWA Power is a new hour-long wrestling show at 6:05 Eastern Time. They show it on their YouTube channel. I know I think it's syndicated in Atlanta because that's where they film from.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it is online to be able to watch it, you know, wherever you're at. So I would definitely highly suggest checking it out, especially if you're a fan of the old 70s and 80s NWA wrestling. It's a good throwback. I mean, everything from the graphics to the music to
They
how
even had that
the
ad
matches
with,
are
wasn't it
presented.
Austin Idol or whatever. Even that seemed
Yep.
like some old school commercial. Man.
It was great. Billy Corrigan really hit a home run with this.
Yes, for sure. Man.
You know,
And
using
Cornette being there,
using
it's
what
like
he has.
Ross on
Mhm.
the AEW show, man. You got someone there with this old school, deep knowledge of wrestling.
Of the business,
yeah, so they come up with facts and things that no one else is going to think of to say. So, and that's something I enjoy and hate that WWE has not had in a long time. So,
Yeah.
I can listen to Cornette read a phone book because he would make it interesting.
Yes, he would. So even though there's a lot of bad stuff going on with wrestling right now with WWE, there's a lot of good out there right now too. I mean, there's just so much going on right now. And we'll definitely keep you guys posted. You know, we'll probably recap wrestling every week if we can, if there's something interesting going on. But stay tuned. We'll obviously have more here in the future. So to kind of move along from there, in our weekly Halloween news. So Halloween Kills obviously coming out next year. More information has been surfacing as well as more pictures. So this week we've gotten pictures of Haddonfield Memorial Hospital.
Yeah, I saw that.
So it has been confirmed that that is going to be one of the places where the movie is taking place, which is kind of exciting. Just because I do love Halloween 2, the original.
mm-hmm.
And so the fact that they're going back there at least a portion of the movie is exciting. On top of that, we also finally got confirmation that Charles Cyphers, who played Sheriff Brackett in Halloween 1 and 2, is back.
Yes.
And the first photo of him in uniform was posted, him with a big old smile on his face.
Yeah.
Now, the thing with this is we don't know if it's a police uniform or a security guard uniform. There's a rumor going around that it's possibly him as a security guard, possibly for Haddonfield Memorial,
That's what I've heard too.
Okay.
That he's going to be a security guard.
which could be interesting.
Well, that makes
You know,
sense, too.
and-
I mean, it's more believable than being a sheriff for 40, 50 years and had, well,
Right.
He'd be retired and
Yeah.
working as a security guard for just to keep
Definitely
working
be-
instead of sitting
yeah.
at home.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's the type of guy, or his character seems like the type of guy who wouldn't just sit around at home after retirement.
No, definitely not.
And it was Halloween 4 is my favorite. It kind of is hard to see him moving to St. Petersburg, Florida.
Right.
But Halloween 4 is still my favorite. It's awesome.
Yes.
That was my Halloween 4 plug.
Nothing wrong.
No, but
with that.
it's great seeing Charles Cyphers just back. I mean, he's 80 years old, and it's just
awesome.
he's great. He's done so many great movies and TV shows over his entire career that it's great to see him back in the franchise.
Yeah, I think it's a good choice to have him come back in some form. So I'm hoping he gets some decent screen time, and hopefully it's not just like a one scene thing. I'm hoping he's going to be in there for a good chunk of the movie.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how his character is, since Annie, died in the original and has his daughter. So see how he's been doing 40 years
coping
later.
with it.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting.
It's gonna be all these recovering people, man. I keep telling you. The broken souls of Michael Myers.
Well, Blumhouse did mention that they would love to make like 10 movies total. So, maybe that's like the name for the 4th movie, The Broken Souls of Michael Myers. Halloween, The Broken Souls of Michael Myers. We're going to return to the of Michael Myers subtitle. So
there you go.
Well, I think that sometimes everybody's always asking for stuff from the franchises that we loved as kids, and it's like, are they still going to be doing this shit in 50 years, 100 years? Are they still going to be going, man, when are we going to get another Friday? Like at some point, isn't it, man?
We're all going to be in our 90s, and they're not going to make another Friday. We're going to be 95 asking, are they still going to make another Friday? The skeletons of the skeletons of Sean Cunningham and Victor Miller will still be battling over the rights in court and appeals.
In hell. They'll be battling over it in hell.
That's a good movie. Victor Miller versus Sean Cunningham.
Oh.
I think you gave one of our listeners an idea for a fan film, Sean.
Yeah. I need to be quiet.
Oh.
CLS commands it.
You will obey. Oh, good stuff. But so that's some good Halloween news that came out this week. And as we've been saying, as more news comes out, we will keep you updated as it comes. Now, one thing that we touched on a few weeks ago was the possibility of another Joe Bob marathon coming up for October. And that has been officially announced. So it is called Joe Bob's Halloween Hootenanny, and that'll be on October 25th. This has got me excited because they're going to be showing 3 movies that night. And they said it could be Halloween related, or it might not have anything to do with Halloween or even the holiday of Halloween. So we don't really know what they're going to be showing, but
it has
knowing
to
that
be.
It's Joe Bob.
On. It's October 25th. Come on.
I was gonna say, everybody said
look
that
at
at
the
Christmas
Joe Bob
last
Christmas
year,
one.
and they did Phantasm. So.
Yep.
It should have been Santa Slay with Bill Goldberg. That would have been a perfect Joe Bob movie.
So that's
Anything
that's
with Joe
gonna be
Bob
interesting.
sounds cool, man. I won't be watching it when it airs because I'll be gone that weekend, but I'll definitely be checking it out.
I will be. This is gonna be the first one I've watched live since the first marathon. So
Awesome.
because I watched part of the Christmas one live, but I didn't watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, this one I'm definitely watching.
I'm going
the
to the drive-in to watch Halloween 1, 2, 4, and 5. So I'm not missing
nice.
out on that for sure.
No, definitely not. Now, another interesting piece of information. I didn't include this on the outline for tonight, but something I was hearing, and this kind of ties in with Joe Bob, and possibly the second season of Last Drive-In. Now, there was a guy that was at Monster Mania or something like that, and he was talking with the guy that was working the Vinegar Syndrome booth. And now this is completely rumor right now. So this is definitely not confirmed or anything like that. This is just what the guy at the Vinegar Syndrome booth said. They said that they're licensing 6 Vinegar Syndrome movies to Shudder for Joe Bob specials.
Oh, cool. If it's true.
Yeah. So that could be interesting. And because the guy that was at Monster Mania kind of asked, well, do you know which ones they were? And he said, we don't know, because he was just working the booth, so he wasn't obviously kind of in the inner workings of all that. But he said, but if it's one of ours, you're probably going to see it on the table here, and it'll probably be one of these. So
yeah, that's what I was going to say.
It'll be interesting to see.
There's so many movies that Vinegar Syndrome has a license to right now. There's no telling.
Yeah, I'm glad
Right.
Shudder's branching out and giving Joe Bob the opportunity to do God knows what.
Oh, dude, what if
Right.
it's Hell Comes to Frogtown?
That'd be
Because Vinegar Syndrome
really
just
awesome.
released that.
Heck yeah.
Oh, man.
that would be great.
Because that was on USA Up All Night, so it kind of
Yeah.
comes full
That's
circle
how
if
I
it goes to
discovered
Joe
that.
Bob.
Yeah, that would be awesome. So that was a nice little tidbit that I had heard, and that could be very, very good for season 2 or whatever they end up doing. So, all right. So talking about some more television news, we got word this week that HBO is developing a brand new TV series based off of Maniac Cop, and I think HBO could do a very, very good job
Yeah, I
with doing
think
this.
that's the only thing that made me have hope for it, is that it's on HBO. They usually do
Yeah.
pretty good stuff.
They
and
do great. They got the
They have freedom.
Sopranos.
They're not restricted by regular TV stuff. So
I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not doubting it can be great. I'm just tired of everything being a TV show. I just want a movie.
I
So
get
that's just
that.
me. But I mean,
get
I mean,
that.
it would be weird.
I'm still
I was
excited
just,
for it.
I was just gonna say because it's like Robert Zadar, he's dead, and
Yeah.
I don't
it
see
is gonna feel weird. I don't know
like-
how
Yeah.
they're gonna do it.
like William Lustig. He hasn't made a movie in over 20 years because he runs Blue Underground, and
Mhm.
I don't know.
I feel like that's one of the less known.
Yeah, that's
movie
what I was getting
series.
ready to say.
So
It's-
a TV show might bring it a new fan base if they
Well,
say,
that's
"Well,
true,
this
too.
is cool. I want to check out the movie."
That's true.
And if they can keep with that gritty style that I love about the movies, because that was one of my favorite things
Yeah.
about them. They felt like gritty cop movies more than horror flicks almost sometimes. So
Yeah.
they can
That first
capture
one,
that and recreate that. That'd be great.
I agree. I think it
But-
could be very well done, and yeah, I think it might actually make a pretty good TV show too.
Yeah, I
you
do
know,
too.
for that one.
Oh yeah, it's a killer cop. I mean, that
Maybe a cop
I
show that
love
I'll
the
actually
show.
watch instead of the billions of ones that are on regular TV that I get annoyed because there's like
Right.
300 of them, and it's like, do you watch SBAVUI? I don't know what the hell you're talking about, brother. There's too many.
Well,
Is
I
Ice-T
love-
on it?
I love the show Dexter. It's silly, it's dumb, I know, but I still love it. But
Yeah.
I think a Maniac cop show would work even better than a Maniac scientist guy show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with that 100%. So it's that kind of came out of left field. I mean,
Yeah.
whoever
Yeah.
I
thought
didn't even know until you sent the.
It's like
the-
Maniac Cop. Wow.
Yeah,
Cool.
I was like, wow, that's fucking awesome.
A lot of people
HBO's
aren't even
trying
going
to-
to know anything about it going into it. They're going to just go,
No.
what's this new HBO show? So
Yeah, because I mean HBO, because with Game of Thrones ending, they got to find like stuff
New
to bring
thing.
out because it's they lost their biggest
What-
money maker.
Well, they're making a
that
prequel.
ended.
They're making a prequel series to Game of Thrones too, so it's not technically going
Yeah.
away. But I never watched. I never watched Game of Thrones. I just couldn't get into it. But I know a lot of people loved it, and so that's. I guess that'll bring most of them back.
So shifting our focus from TV to movies, Warner Brothers is actually developing a remake of Little Shop of Horrors. So this would be the second remake of this, and that It's interesting.
Yeah, interesting. I liked the one I love the Jack Nicholson one. It's fun, but and I hate musical man, but this is the one musical for whatever reason I've loved since I was a kid. So
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna like this. And I heard Lady Gaga was rumored for Audrey, so that turns me off. I'm not a big Lady Gaga fan. So
here's
she's-
my feeling on this whole thing. I mean, I know the real reason why, because the Rick Moranis musical is famous and beloved, so let's just redo that. But why can't they just remake Roger Corman's original and just make a dark comedy?
Why does it have to be another musical?
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I thought too, man, because that's what made the 80s one cool and different, is because it was so different from the Roger Corman one. And I think everyone's missing that point.
It brings it back to, this doesn't even need to be made in the first place, because we have the original, which is a fun, low-budget dark comedy. You have the musical from the 80s. Why do we need another version now?
We really don't.
I believe they
we
do
really
the
don't.
musical in quite a few places on stage, even. So
Exactly.
I'd rather go see
Yeah.
that than see another movie get done. So.
I will
Exactly.
say that I will say this about the Lady Gaga thing. That's a better choice than what was rumored a few years ago or so. Whenever they brought this up the first time, Rebel Wilson was in one of the leading to be
come on.
Audrey.
Well, I'll say Lady Gaga has that look, especially of the one from the 80s. So she has the look. I'm just not a fan of her personally.
I gotta,
Yeah.
I gotta pull for one for her corner because I was never a fan of her for a long time, and then I saw her in American Horror Story, and I thought she was great. I personally think that she
Maybe she's a
would
good
fit.
actress. So.
Yeah, well,
She was in that movie with Bradley
I don't like
Cooper.
her music.
And she,
Yeah, Star is Born.
the trailers, I haven't seen the movie yet, but the trailers, she looked like a normal person, and I could, very
She is a
believable.
normal person, Ted.
Well, that's good.
You know what I mean? She's very eccentric. She wears all those costumes and her hair and all that stuff. I'm just saying she looked like a down to earth person. I guess I should have said down to earth.
That's just a gimmick. It's just like the freaking East Coast, West Coast freaking rap beef. That was all just a fucking gimmick.
No, man. Biggie can't do that. You don't know what you're talking about.
Oh man.
West
if you
Side.
Yeah. Because I mean, it's not any different than how Madonna used to be back in the day. You know,
Right,
all her
exactly.
crazy ass costumes. So,
And
I mean,
she
it's
turned out
it's
to
kinda
be
the
a
same
good
thing.
actress too. I mean, Madonna's
Yeah.
not a bad actress.
I enjoyed some of Madonna's music. I don't know much about Lady
Yeah.
Gaga's music to really
I don't
say
either.
like
I've
it or
just
not.
seen
So-
her. I've seen her.
Yeah, I
look
don't know much
crazy.
about Lady Gaga either, but the ones I heard I wasn't really super into
Yeah.
Right.
personally.
Yeah. So it should be interesting if it does go that way with Lady Gaga getting the role of Audrey, because the role of Audrey too, they're talking Billy Porter, who was also in American Horror Story. He was kind of one of the warlocks.
Yeah, I had to look him up. I didn't know who that was for the voice of the plant.
That's
So
good.
that's-
that could be
uh,
interesting.
A practically unknown actor to do a
Yeah.
role like that. So you don't
Right.
you don't put a face on Audrey too. You
Yeah.
can just have
Mhm.
the voice. You're like, that is Audrey too.
Yep. I agree. So that it's interesting. I don't know if I'm excited or not for it, because I'm tired of them remaking everything at the same time. And honestly, like you guys said already, there's no need for it to be remade.
No.
And if they are going to remake it, make it more like Roger Corman's original. But
Or do something completely
mean-
different altogether anyway. I mean, something
right,
not another music.
exactly. So it's interesting. Whether it's good or bad, it remains to be seen, obviously, because it's not even in production yet. It's very, very early stages. So
It's all speculation. So
right. So we'll see what ultimately happens here.
I know that I'm a mean green mother from outer space. I know that.
So now let's take a look at some movies that are coming up here shortly. So first off, coming out October 25th of this year, we got a Netflix original. Actually, a
Not
couple
the
of these on here. It's not the 18th for once. So we got our first one. It's called Rattlesnake. So this one looks interesting.
I thought it looked good. I thought it looked really good.
Yeah, I thought it looked like it was pretty good, man.
It was
Yeah,
different. I haven't seen something quite like this.
When I first saw the
kinda got
name,
that-
I thought it was a biopic for Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Jesus. Wow.
Poor Ted was disappointed.
Oh man,
I don't get to see Stone Cold beating his wife. Allegedly beating his wife, I should say.
that reminds me of the time that I rented the Metallica movie Saint Anger, thinking I was going to listen to some badass music for an hour and a half, but it was nothing but Dave Mustaine and Metallica. I forgot his name. Singer of Metallica.
James Hetfield.
James Hetfield. Thank you. It was nothing but them crying the whole damn movie. He's like, "You kicked me out of the band, man. I kicked you out of the band, man."
He did fine.
Shut up and play your music.
I thought you guys were cool. You're just crying. Is this what all heavy metal bands do, is cry when they're not performing?
Wow.
They don't have enough liquor in them.
Oh my god. So back to the Netflix movie here. So this one's kind of got the whole voodoo cult spin on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like,
And
I didn't see it coming either. It hit like
yeah.
halfway
No.
through the trailer.
yeah, I just thought it was gonna be like, oh, this poor kid in a freaking snake bite. And it's like,
Yeah.
well, we helped you, but to save her, you need to replace her soul. And it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
yeah,
Who's this fucked up doctor?
it just took a whole left turn and it was great. I'm just like, oh, this
Sean,
is interesting.
Takes an
It turns
HO
out he's just the Surgeon General. That's what happens. These cigarettes aren't really bad for you. Smoke up.
Smoke up. Oh, so that one looks good. So that's definitely gonna be one I'm gonna be checking out before Halloween, because it just piqued my interest with that whole voodoo twist in there. Because it's been a while since I've seen a good one with that kind of a voodoo kind of overhanging arch in there. So that it could be good. Now, coming up in December, now this is coming out the same day as the new Black Christmas, is another remake that's coming out. So we got the remake of David Cronenberg's classic Rabid being done by the Soska sisters.
When
I
I
like the
first started
Soska
watching the trailer, I was like, man, this is going to be terrible. And then about maybe a minute into the trailer got a lot better. But
That's about the time I turned the trailer off.
You should have, like, the beginning of the trailer was terrible.
My opinions
man.
on them as filmmakers, personally, and I'm not going to bash anybody, so I'll stop.
I don't
there.
mind the Soska sisters. I liked See No Evil 2.
Yep.
Of course, that stars my future ex-wife, Catherine Isabel, but I still like the movie.
I don't understand.
I like.
Go ahead, Ted. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying. Gosh, I can't remember. I can't think of the name now. I have it on my shelf somewhere. The prison movie they made that starred Dean Cain and Big Show. I didn't mind that movie. It was entertaining. I just can't freaking remember the name right now. I can't see it on my shelf. But
their movies are very, very hit and miss.
To me, I think it's a Cronenberg movie, so it's pretty big. You should do this movie justice. And they're still filming movies that look subpar quality as far as picture.
Yeah.
Some of the angles were weird, like they didn't fit, at least in the trailer. I don't know. I don't like the way that they always inject themselves into everything, because personally I don't think they can act very well. But that's my opinion. So if you want to get mad in the comments, go for it.
Well, I agree with that. I'm not a big fan of, it was cool when Alfred Hitchcock did it, but everybody else is a copycat. So,
yeah.
But I don't know. I'm not super excited, but the second half of the trailer, where it made it look like we might see more of a world outbreak of the whole situation, kind of gave me a little bit of hope for the movie. So
I'll wait to watch it till it hits Shudder.
Right. So the one thing I will say about this is that the effects look good.
Yeah.
I mean, the
Yeah.
use of practical effects looked really, really good in this.
The torn apart face when they wrapped that mask off, that looked really fucking awesome.
Yep, I agree. And CM Punk is in this as well.
Yeah, I saw that.
So that's interesting.
I was like, I rewound it the first time. I was like, what, was that CM Punk?
Man, he's trying to get into all different kinds of forms of entertainment.
Yep. Yes, he
That's how you
is.
make
Hey man,
money.
make them business moves, man. Go for it.
Making money, yeah.
So I will say with this one, I'm not really excited for it. I'll check it out if it's for free somewhere, but yeah, because I love Cronenberg's original. I mean, there's no need to remake it. And
Yeah, I agree with that.
Vendetta, that
I
was the name of the movie. I finally found it on my shelf.
that
Sorry, that was killing me. I couldn't remember the name of the freaking movie. Like Vendetta, that's right. I like that movie. It was fun.
one was pretty good. But yeah, I my hopes aren't too terribly high with this, which is normal with
There's a
Sosuke
wrestler
Sister
in it,
movies.
and most of the movies with wrestlers that they do are pretty good. Maybe there's a chance, man.
There's a chance.
I said that
There
way
is
too
a
low
chance.
for the mic, but
WWE Films presents Rabid. Oh, I just depressed myself. Oh.
WWE presents Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh my god! Don't kill me here.
God,
That
Finn
would
Balor
kill
is
me.
Freddy Krueger.
Please, no.
Instead of Freddy Krueger, it's the Boogeyman.
Isaiah, edit that out, please.
Maybe they can get Hornswoggle to be Freddy.
Oh, good lord, that's too funny. So
The
moving along, 'cause-
WWE films aren't all great, but I like their action.
They're not
films.
all bad either.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
I
They're not
I'm
all what
like
everyone
most,
thinks they are. So.
Yeah, most of the Marine movies I like, minus the first one,
Yeah,
and I like the See No Evil movies, and so I think it's funny
Yeah, I
though.
agree.
Vince McMahon wanted to be like this big Hollywood producer, and all he can do now is produce direct-to-video stuff because
Yep.
the whole theater would take his stuff.
I don't blame him one bit.
I have a suggestion, Vince. Whenever you make a film studio, don't call it WWE Studios. Call it something
No.
else, because
Yes.
that already gives people a perception of a false impression of what your movie's gonna be.
Yep, I agree.
But what
So-
do I know?
Yeah. So moving along here, because Rabid, it's probably going to be a pass for the most part on me, unless it's for free.
Same.
Yeah, I'm
So-
not gonna pay for it.
Yeah. No, definitely not.
I'm not gonna illegally download it or anything like some people will.
No,
Just wait
no, God, no.
till I
No,
can
no.
watch it for free.
The only time I
legally
do
or
that
something.
is if I can't fucking buy it.
Yeah.
TNT, release Monster Vision, damn it.
Right.
I'll buy 3 of them, just freaking release it.
Oh, that would be great. But so coming out in November. Now it's coming out on the 19th. Is a movie called Animal Among Us. This caught my attention for 2 reasons. Number 1, you have Larissa Lanik, who was in The Secret World of Alex Mack from Nickelodeon days back in the early 90s.
Yeah, that's an oldie.
Yeah. And then, even more than that, they got fucking Don Fry in here. One of the original UFC
Yes,
fighters.
I love Don Fry.
Yeah.
That made me like, yes, I gotta fucking see this movie just because of that.
It looked
Yeah,
cool. I think I know what it is, but it looks like it might be fun. Man.
Yeah.
Don Fry is great. He was the
I
best
liked what
thing.
I saw. I'll probably watch it.
He was the best
Yeah.
thing in Godzilla Final Wars. That's all I gotta say about that.
Yeah. So this movie, I definitely want to check it out for sure. But it seems more generic for me. It just seems kind of like a generic kind of movie.
Generic werewolf story is what it felt like to me.
Yep.
But I was, I'm willing to give it a shot. I'll watch
Yeah.
anything, honestly, once, just about.
Right. Exactly.
Almost
So that-
anything.
Yeah, almost anything.
Thankfully, I read about, what was that one? I don't even want to think about it right now. I'll remember in a minute. The one, just move on. I don't want to spend the whole time trying to remember it. So.
Sean, I didn't give up trying to remember Vendetta, so you don't give up on this. Okay?
Oh, that's good. Now, looking more towards the beginning of next year. So on the 24th of January, we've got The Turning coming out. Now, this is Finn Wolfhard's new movie, horror movie. So Finn Wolfhard obviously was in the It movies as well as Stranger Things. This kind of reminds me of like a cross between The Boy meets The Haunting of Hill House.
Which boy?
This kind of
There's 2 movies called The Boy. You need to be specific.
the one that was with the doll with Lauren Cohen.
Oh,
Yeah,
that crappy
that
one.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of kind of a mixture of those two. So
I'm not big on ghost movies. It looked like it. I mean, I like him. He's an alright actor, so
yeah.
I did like the angle that the kids seem to be like kind of working with the ghost or the demons. So
Yep.
instead of
Yeah,
being scared of them, but it
I'm
seemed
gonna
more
have
of
to agree
a
with Sean.
teeny bopper kind of ghost flick. So.
You've
I'm
got
not
one
big on
half of a bad
paranormal
movie in
movies.
there, so I'm not excited.
But I will say the trailer did make it look like it would be good.
Yeah.
But it's just a trailer. But just like Sean said, it's very rare that I like a paranormal movie. Very, very rare.
Yeah. I agree.
It's so
I'm
overdone
not big on
now.
them either.
It's not that I hate them; they're just so overdone now. That's like the
I actually
main
have
focus
one
of horror.
on my
So-
list for our main topic today.
That's awesome. So, The Turning, January 24th. So that could be good, but like you guys have said, it's being overdone with the whole paranormal and supernatural bullshit
Because
now.
it's easy and cheap to make.
It is. It really is. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Horror's going to do whatever's popular at the time for the most part. So that's what's popular right now because of the whole Conjuring and all that stuff. So it makes sense to try to cash in on it. So
Black.
it is what it is. But now the next one that we're looking at, this one actually doesn't have a release date yet. It is going to be showing at the Brooklyn Film Festival. This one actually looks interesting. This one's called The Room.
Yeah, it looked
It
kind of
looks
cool.
like it-
man.
Yeah.
I think there was a one about between 5 and 10 years ago called The Brass Teapot or something that kind of had a similar idea. But this looks like it goes more to the dark side than that movie did. That movie was a little more comedic.
At first, I thought it was going to be Tommy Wiseau was remaking The Room.
That's why I made sure I put a 2019 next to it because I was
That's
like,
what I'm saying. A
everyone's gonna
remake.
think
It's the
the wrong
2019
movie.
remake. I did not haunt her. I did not haunt her. It's bullcrap. Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh my god.
I did not stab her in the face. She betrayed me. You would betray me, Ghost. Now I want to see that version of the movie. I just did that to myself.
Good lord. So this one's interesting because it makes it seem like the things that they're wishing for, that the room is granting and making come to life, it can't leave the house. And so, like, they end up having children finally, and they're basically raising these children in this house, and they never leave it, and because otherwise the children are just going to disappear or die or whatever the fuck happens. So it seems kind of like a weird movie, and it's got an interesting twist with, you know, these things that are being created but can't leave the premises. So it'll be interesting to see where this thing goes and how that story unfolds.
It sounds like most parents' fantasies. They wish their kids would just disappear.
Oh, Jesus.
Or was that just my parents? I'm not sure.
No comment.
No comment. Damn. Oh, good stuff.
Don't make me
Now-
cry like the heavy metal stars, man.
There's some Jack
Good
Ted.
lord.
It's okay. You kicked me out of the podcast, man.
Good lord. So now this next movie isn't really a horror movie, but it looks fucking nuts and good.
I had to put
it actually. Oh my god, I'm glad you did, because I didn't even know about this. So this actually came out a couple days ago. So its release date was on the 11th. So I don't know if it's like a limited release thing. I didn't really look too far into it. But yeah, Crispin Glover looks fucking nuts, and he's like a fucking hitman.
Yes.
And
that thinks he's
holy
French.
shit.
I don't know if he really
That
is.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one, man. Just to watch him be a crazy ass. So,
Yeah,
Yes.
I didn't get a
Enough
chance
for
to
me.
watch this trailer, and now I'm really upset.
Yeah, when you do get a chance to watch it, watch the
Yes,
red band version.
Yeah,
I'll watch
that
it as
makes a
soon as we're done
difference for sure.
recording tonight.
Oh, it's so good. That got me excited. I'm like, I gotta see this.
Yeah.
I gotta find it.
It's like, I forgot how great you were, man.
Yeah, because he's a crazy dude. He's kind of
Yes.
nuts.
Yes. He can play just about anything, too. That's what's fun. But I've never
Yep.
been unhappy with a role he's done. So.
No, definitely not. Like when he took on that role of Willard in the remake, he really made that movie
Yeah, that
work.
was good. Yeah, he was the star, not the rat.
Nope. Definitely not. So moving on from there, coming out next month, so November 29th. Now, this is an animated movie. It's called I Lost My Body. This one, for me, is not really my cup of tea, just because I'm not really into animated things that much. And, I mean, the story seems interesting, this hand trying to find its body, but...
The way they blended it together, man, I don't know. The trailer impressed me. I thought it looked like it was going to be a really good story. Maybe more than just the body, the hand trying to find the body. I think it's got like a deeper meaning than that, honestly.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It looked really cool to me.
Yeah. So this is definitely another one that's not really horror related for those of you that are listening, but I mean, it's I think it's something that my wife would probably like. But yeah, I don't know. It just didn't really click for me. I felt myself was kind of bored watching the trailer, but
I got me excited, man.
I don't know.
I liked like when the hand, like you saw the kid. It was almost like the hand was remembering being attached to the kid or some shit when it was trying to do certain things. And I don't know, man. It looked pretty wild and cool to me. So I'm anxious to see it.
Definitely. Now to kind of round things out here for upcoming things, Sci-Fi is actually putting out an hour-long documentary about Todd McFarlane, and this is to be announced like a date, but it's supposedly coming out before the end of the year, and that's fucking exciting.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love Todd McFarlane.
I idolized Todd McFarlane in high school. He's the reason I started drawing. It's freaking amazing. He started out doing Spider-Man and Batman comics. He drew the original appearance of Venom in a Spider-Man comic. He's just super freaking talented artist.
Yeah,
He kind of
And then he gave
forged
us
his
Spawn.
own way, man. So
Yeah, he
definitely.
He submitted Spawn to Marvel something like 100 times and was denied every single time. And then
yeah, it looks like they're
going
going to touch on all that too. So
I know. I wrote a report on this guy in high school and everything.
awesome.
He ended up taking a bunch of artists from Marvel that were disgruntled, and they formed Image Comics and made Spawn. Personally, I think Marvel kept saying no because Spawn's a little X-rated.
It was rough. It was You know, that was kind of new to comics when Spawn came out. There wasn't a lot of stuff like that.
No, everything
Image
was
and Dark Horse. Image and Dark Horse really kind of changed the game on all that. So.
Yeah, they did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's exciting, and I guess this is like the first documentary that Sci-Fi is going to be doing, kind of like this. So they're already planning like other future like hour-long documentaries,
very cool.
just like they did for this.
I
So
hope they pick
That's
awesome people
awesome.
all the time like that. So.
yeah,
Good
definitely.
job, sci-fi. All right.
Hey, sci-fi's got some gems. Even some of
They
their
do.
weird
Yeah, they do
movies
some
are
good stuff,
pretty
man.
good.
Yeah, I don't hate sci-fi.
No, definitely not. I love me some Sharknado from time to time. So,
Yeah, I
Fuck
love
yes.
the Sharknado series.
but so good stuff. I mean, there seems to be every week we're finding some gems with different movies and TV shows that are coming out. So this week's definitely no different. Kind of moving on from there though. Ted, I know we got some news regarding Blu-rays. Let us know what's going on.
All right. So, Shout Factory just kind of dropped a bombshell on people, saying, a bunch of our MGM titles are going out of print. The licenses are going out. We're not going to renew them because they don't have high sellability, stuff like that. So they're just going to let them go out of print and just be done with it. A lot of it is already, like, you can't even buy on Amazon anymore because people, like, freaked out and, like, bought everything. So,
Yeah.
but, Shout Factory has a lot of stuff still left on their site, and there's other online stores. But I have a list here of the ones that are going out of print right now that I know of. So I will just go ahead and read those off just a minute. Kino also has about 200 titles that are going out of print. For what reason, I don't know. Maybe the same reason as Shout Factory or not, but unlike Shout Factory, they did give everybody a heads up saying, don't just start buying these titles. We're going to have a sale on our website, and I guess in a couple of weeks. I don't have a date for that yet, but
Okay.
like I said, they're going to, they did it better than Shout did. Shout's just like, oh yeah, these are going out of print. Good luck. Kino's like, don't freak out yet. We're gonna have a sale, and you can get what you need on a cheaper than what you
Yeah, I
can buy.
didn't find out till late on the Shout Factory thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
find out until you told us.
I'm glad.
I was like, man, I need Sleepaway Camp 2 and 3. I don't have them.
So here's the list. Here's the Shout Factory list that I have so far that they are going out of print. First up is the Amityville Horror Trilogy box set. Contains the first 3 movies. That's going out of print. Double feature of Blackula and Scream, Blackula, Scream. The Carrie double feature that has The Rage Carrie 2 and the 2002 version of Carrie. Dead of Winter. The double feature of Destroyer and Edge of Sanity.
Okay.
Disturbing Behavior, a double feature of Empire of the Ants, Jaws of Satan, double feature of Food of the Gods and Frogs, The Garbage Pail Kids, the 1988 horror western film Ghost Town, which is awesome. I love that movie. The double feature of Ghoulies and Ghoulies 2, Howling 2, I, Madman, Incredible Melting Man, Toby Hooper's Invaders from Mars, Leviathan, New Year's Evil, Robot Jocks, that's a Stuart Gordon film, Scarecrows, Sleepaway Camps 2 and 3, Stigmata, Wes Craven's Swamp Thing, double feature of Tentacles and Reptilicus, the double feature of Troll and Troll 2, the double feature of Vampire's Kiss and High Spirits, the Vincent Price Collection Volume 2, and Without Warning. Those are the movies I've so far that are going out of print.
Wow.
It doesn't mean that they're never going to get reissued by another company, because, I mean, as I was talking to Isaiah earlier tonight, before the podcast, Shout Factory's Terror Train went out of print, and then Scorpion Releasing picked up the rights and released their own Blu-ray. So that could be a scenario, but if there's something on that list, I say go ahead and just pick it up just in case, I mean,
Yeah.
because you never know. but don't pay high price scalpers on eBay or something like that.
Yeah, don't get
Oh,
ripped
hell no.
off.
Yeah,
Hunt around a little bit first.
exactly.
For sure.
Don't pay $50 for a friggin' Blu-ray, which could get re-released. Especially like Garbage Pail Kids. You can still buy the DVD for $7. It's no Blu-ray,
gonna
doesn't have all the
say,
bonus, but you can
Like
have
3
you can still
versions
get
of that, so
Yeah.
including the Blu-ray. So.
Exactly. So
Yeah,
I mean,
I
it's
don't like
still
that.
available to get on disc at a decent price. It might not have all the special features, but the Amityville box set, there is for parts 1 and 3, there is an Australian region free set from a company called, I wrote it down here, it's called Via Vision. I've never heard of them before, but it's I've read that it's region free, and it's actually got like a commentary for parts 2 and 3, which part 3 doesn't have a commentary on the Shout Factory set, so that could be just an extra bonus. I mean, if that's something you need or want in your collection, there's that option too. So, but yeah, that's what we got so far. That's going bye from Shout. So, yeah, and
I hate
they did announce that they are going to release a 4K steelbook of I was about to say Sleepaway Camp. Jeez, a Slumber Party Massacre with a figure of Russ Thorne holding the drill.
Yeah.
Which is
I already
great.
have blue of that, but the figure made me want to get it. I was like,
Yes.
that's the best figure ever. Like,
Having
I
a
never
4
expected to see that.
having just the 4K scan, I mean, this is just a cheapy Roger Corman flick, which I mean, it's become a staple in slasher films. I mean, it's a funny movie.
Yeah.
And it was originally written as a like a feminist thing. Like a feminist actually wrote the script, and it was supposed to be a parody of slasher films. But then the way that Roger Corman and his company made the movie, and the movie's directed by a woman, it just became what's the word?
Thing, man.
Yeah, it's its own thing. It's not a
Right.
feminist movie anymore because they just took everything and just heightened the slasher stereotypes. You got like gratuitous nudity everywhere, like especially in the beginning when they're in the shower. You have like close-ups of the butts and stuff. It's just funny when you read about the person who wrote the script, who's like a very feminist person. You're just like, this is hilarious that they just turned your script into a sleaze. And of course, it's just a fun movie anyway. I mean, I love it. That's one of the movies I'm going to watch for my Halloween this month. I just haven't watched it yet, but I'm going to. It's going to be in that rotation.
That one and 3, I love.
Definitely.
2's a little out there for me, but I love the first and third one.
First one's
Yeah.
my favorite.
Yeah,
It's the best.
for sure.
The second movie, it's freaking acid trip. That's all I can explain.
Yeah, I would agree.
I like the third one.
I would
'cause
agree 100%.
And they go completely different and kind of
Yeah.
a mystery who the killer is instead of. Even though I loved in the first one how he was right there in your face and there was no mystery. It was
No
fun to
mask
see
or
it the other way
anything.
around.
Yeah, he just has a drill and he's gonna get you. I do. My theory for part 2 is that it's just all in the girl's head and she's in the insane asylum, like they show in the end. People like to say,
I don't care what the reason was. I was entertained that whole damn movie.
"Oh, I love that. I
Crap.
love Sleepaway Camp." Gosh, I keep saying Sleepaway
You
Camp.
did it again.
Because they both start with
I want to be
S's.
your Tokyo convertible.
I have both series right next to each other on my shelf because everything's alphabetical, so I keep seeing Sleepaway Camp. No, but
That's great.
Slumber Party Massacre 2 is a good one. I mean, basically, if this has become like a ranking for me now, it's just my favorite from favorite to least. It just goes 1, 2, 3. 2 is fun.
Yeah.
2's just
I
a fun
haven't
movie.
seen 3 yet.
It's basically the first movie, except it takes itself seriously. It's a serious slasher film. It's not a bad movie.
I like
Nice.
it, man. It's a decent
Yeah,
flick.
it's
And
not a
mystery
bad
who
movie.
The killer is. They make you think it's like 4 different idiots before you actually figure out who it is.
You talking
Yeah.
to me, Sheriff?
It's a little better at disguising, I would say, than Friday 5.
Yeah.
Hey,
Get
when
your-
I first saw it, I didn't see that coming.
Get your hands
Me
dirty,
either, but
Roy.
I don't know. I was a kid.
And I was like, oh, that was so obvious.
You know what's funny is that the actress who played Sandra in Friday Part 2, she has a small role in Slumber Party Massacre 3 as the pizza delivery girl.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that's
I didn't
right.
realize
Definitely
that.
gonna watch it.
Yeah, it's her. I don't even think she has any lines. She like delivers the pizza and then gets chased and killed.
She doesn't need them.
Well, I mean, it sucks the whole Blu-rays going out of print thing, because I know we were talking, during the week when we found out about that, because I missed out on Terror Train when that went out of print, and then I kept waiting and waiting and waiting with fucking New Year's Evil, and now that's going out of print. And granted, I ordered through Best Buy in hopes that maybe I'll get it, because it was like $17.99, but I'm not holding out too much hope on that, because they got it like middle of November that it's supposed to be arriving. So
Yeah. Amazon's
I'm
the
not
same
holding
way
out
with
hope.
all of these titles now. It says like ships within 1 to 4 weeks. I'm like, yeah, they're gone. That's
So,
what the only one I missed
it was
out
my
on
own fault.
the only one I missed out on that I really cared about. And I didn't really care about it, I guess you could say, but it's just one that's in the back of my mind is I Madman. That's always.
yeah.
But I was like, oh well, it's not really a big loss. I'm glad I got what I got.
Right. Well, I mean, for me, because like New Year's Evil has been a staple of mine, watching on New Year's Day
Mm-hmm.
every year for the last, I don't even know how many years.
Yeah,
So
for sure. Man. Me too.
I love New Year's Evil.
I didn't miss out though. I pulled the trigger on that one.
See, I'm glad I
Yeah.
bought a bunch of those MGM titles a year or two ago.
Yeah, I thought of that when you said that. I was like, Ted jumped the gun before everybody on this.
I picked up what I
Right.
wanted, like really wanted 100%.
mhm.
And I at first
Oh.
when I read that, because my first thought was MGM, Fox, Disney. So I was like, is this the Disney deal coming to fruition now, buying Fox and MGM titles? I don't even think MGM is like with Fox. I think it's its own thing again, the way it sounds like. But that's not why though. The Disney buyout for Fox was not it. Like Shout Factory just said, it's just not worth the money to renew the license and reprint these movies because they didn't sell like a lot. They weren't big sellers for them. So
Oh, well. I mean, shit happens. I'm hoping if I don't get New Year's Evil this time around that, obviously it gets to another company and they release a blue. I'm hoping at least.
you can buy Terror
know.
Train from Ronin Flicks right now, and you get free shipping. If domestic U.S.
That's good to know.
Domestic U.S. orders is always free shipping. You pay through PayPal. I mean, I bought a lot of movies from them.
Okay.
That's where I got my.
Because I didn't know about that,
3.
so that's good to know.
Yeah, Scorpion Releasing put that out. So, and it has, from what I read, it has all the Shout Factory extras plus like 2 more extras that they put on themselves. So, I mean,
Oh, cool.
yeah.
All right. That's going to be something I'm going to have to check out here in the near future. Well, thanks for the news on that, Ted, because it's good to always keep up to date on what's going on with Blu-rays, definitely.
Mm-hmm. No problem.
If I'd have missed out on that, it would have been another Terror Train, and I would have been really upset.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were going for
Yep.
cheap on Shout. I mean, 15 a movie. I was like, that's not bad. I was like, I said I gotta let Mark know because I know he loves Sleepaway Camp. So I was like, gotta let him know so he doesn't miss out.
Definitely. So this week we're going to be taking a look at some of our favorite Halloween themed movies. So these are movies that are not in the Halloween franchise, but are good Halloween movies, number one, but also take place during the holiday. So what are your guys' favorite choices for these kind of movies?
I have so many.
My number one, I would say, is Trick or Treat.
Good one.
I love that movie.
I agree.
That's a great one.
It was perfect as far as like a fun, lighthearted, but still scary.
Yeah, I
Halloween
like it a lot,
movie.
man. I watch that one every year now. So
Yeah.
I started that last year. I will watch it again on October 30th.
not to interrupt your list, but there's another one from the 80s called Trick or Treat that I also love to watch around Halloween.
Yep. Ozzy
Yeah,
Osbourne.
Isn't that the
First
rock
one was
and roll
Trick.
one or whatever?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ozzy and Gene Simmons and Mark Price from Family Ties, I think it was.
Oh, I've
Yeah.
seen that. Yeah.
Skippy from
Okay.
Family Ties.
Yeah,
He's the protagonist.
it's a good one, man. It's a good movie.
Yeah, that's a fun movie. I love Ozzy.
What else you
Ozzy
got, Mark?
Osbourne. That movie's great. He's like the anti
Night of the
heavy metal.
Demons. Look, that's another great. It takes place during Halloween.
That's
Yeah.
number one.
Breaking into this house.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you
love Night
you
of the
took
Demons.
you took one of our and I commend you.
I mean,
for
if
it.
I'm going to keep going on the list, there might
You're gonna
be
take
another one.
everybody's, yeah. That's why I didn't rank mine. I just kind of.
I didn't rank them either. I
Yeah.
just wrote them down.
No.
No,
There's
that's
only
great.
this
Night of
next
the
one
Demons
that you might
awesome.
have. I don't think you're going to have the other two. Is Terrifier.
Nice.
Yes,
I
Terrifier
loved
is
Yeah, I didn't put that
Terrifier,
towards
and
the top
it's
of my list.
they're
That's
walking
good, though.
around in
That's a good
Halloween
one.
costumes the whole
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, it takes place on
Yep.
Halloween.
Yeah. And then I
I
also
love
have
that movie.
Hell House LLC.
Yeah, that was a
Okay.
good one too. I watched that one.
I didn't like it the first time I watched it, but it grew on me. But mainly because I have my aversion for paranormal films. But it was a
Yeah,
good
I've never
one. It was,
watched
Yeah,
that
I
one.
enjoyed it.
it was good.
Yeah.
It was interesting. There was some parts in it that made me jump. You know,
I have
jump
to
scares
check it out,
usually
guys.
don't get me, but they got me in that movie.
I haven't seen any of the sequels yet. I know they've made 2 more, so there's 3 altogether now. But yeah, the
And my
first
last
one's
one
good.
is one that's really weird. I watched it on a whim on Netflix. Never heard of it. I don't know if you guys have heard. It's called Murder Party.
I've heard of it. I haven't seen
Yes,
it.
I
though.
have heard of
Yeah,
that.
I've heard
Have
of
you
it.
watched it?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
I have.
Okay. Well, basically, it's this lonely guy lives alone with his cat, trying to make friends. He gets this invitation to a murder party, and he thinks it's just a joke, a regular Halloween party. So he dresses up, makes his own costume, and it goes from there. It's funny. It's a comedy, horror comedy. It's really, really damn funny.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I've heard of it. I've never seen it. You gave me 2 to watch, so that's awesome.
Hell yeah,
Yep.
it's always good.
I tell you one I like. It's more of a comedy, but Idle Hands. I always thought that was a
Yes,
fun Halloween
yes,
story,
I
Oh, God,
freaking
yes.
love that movie.
I remember when that
And,
movie came out in theaters.
man. And I mentioned this one last week, but Dark Knight of the Scarecrow. It's just a TV horror
Called it.
flick.
We
but-
knew
Who
it.
called it?
We knew it.
Yeah, that's fine. I knew y'all would know it, damn it. I'm gonna bring it up next. I'm gonna bring it up every week, man. Until we
Nah, that's a good
I just
movie.
knew because it was
It
a
is a good
movie. movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Like, man, Sean loves this movie. He's gonna say it. I know it.
And I don't really consider this a Halloween themed movie, but it's set at the same time. But Ginger Snaps is a great flick too. So
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ginger Snaps awesome.
And another one that I love from that is definitely all Halloween is Midnight Hour. I watched that so much as a kid growing up, man. Like I found when I was looking up movies that was listed as a comedy, I think it's more of a in between comedy and horror than it is a comedy.
Yeah.
But- and these aren't Halloween movies either, man, but I love the Halloween scene in E.T. I always thought that was just
Yeah.
one of the many great parts of that movie. And the Halloween dancer party in Karate Kid. I always thought that was freaking great. That costume he wears is
That
one of
was
the best
awesome.
costumes, and I want to fucking do it one year, man. So.
Yeah. That
And
was
this one
freaking awesome.
is another one. It's I think set around the Halloween time, but they don't really make it a Halloween movie. It's Lady in White. That's
Oh,
a
yeah.
really excellent movie that I didn't fully understand as a kid, but enjoy, but I've just grown to love even more.
I
So,
completely forgot about that movie. Yeah,
yeah, I tried to find one no one would think of.
that was a good one.
I'm surprised you guys haven't mentioned probably one of my top Halloween themed movies. House of a Thousand Corpses.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, those are good. All of those.
That one, because if we're talking non-Halloween franchise movies, between that one and Hocus Pocus are
Yeah,
probably my
that was on my
two
list.
top.
See,
I was
that's
thinking
the
about
second one
throwing
you're
the
thinking.
Adams Family on there, but I don't. That's not
That,
during.
yeah, those
Halloween.
didn't take.
But-
First one is.
No, the first one didn't take
Right.
place on Halloween. It ended on Halloween, but it's not.
Oh, it
Right,
ends
right.
on
Yeah.
Halloween. Yeah,
because
okay.
it's like
But it's
months
such-
later.
It's such a Halloween feel through it. I didn't put it on my list, but that I
Okay.
was thinking about.
Oh, I've
it.
already.
I love
I've watched
those
both those movies already for my Halloween rotation.
Yeah, me too.
Those were the first two movies I watched. because I bought the new double feature Blu-ray. Like, I have to watch it.
I didn't even know it was new. I was just thinking, man, I really want to watch the Addams Family. I looked it up and was like, oh, look, they got a double feature.
Yeah, it just came out this month.
Yeah, that was a cheap. It's not too bad.
Yeah, it was $12.
Yeah.
It was $5 for the DVD.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's the first time that Values has been put on Blu-ray. The first movie's been on Blu-ray for years now, but I guess because the new movies has come out this week, that Paramount's like, just throw it in there. We're gonna make some money,
some extra cash.
Yeah, which I'm happy they did. I got both of them on Blu-ray now.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I'm gonna say, since nobody's mentioned this, I'm gonna say The Munsters Revenge, because that takes place on Halloween. I love that movie. I had it on VHS as a kid, and I have the DVD, and I love to watch it.
A bootleg of it.
It's a fun. Yeah, it's so freaking fun. It's just, it was a TV movie that was made in 1981, I believe was the year, and they got.
I think
yeah,
so.
and they got the original cast back, except for, of course, Eddie and Lily, because Eddie Munster was, he was Butch Patrick was an adult by then, so
right.
They have a different kid playing Eddie, and you got a different actress playing Lily, but you still have Grandpa, not Lily, Marilyn, Marilyn.
Yeah.
My mind, bro. You still have Herman. You still have Lily. You still have Grandpa. Same actors, and it's just a great little heist movie. You got Sid Caesar as the villain, using using robots from his wax museum to commit these crimes. He's going to commit this huge heist on Halloween, stealing the Pharaoh's treasure. Because Sid Caesar's crazy and thinks he's the brother of the guy, or like he's the reincarnated brother of the pharaoh, and he has this whole thing. Of course, two of the wax dummies are Herman and Grandpa, and they get arrested for the crimes, and they bust out of prison. They have to clear their names. It's a fun movie. I love it. It's funny. They have to go to Transylvania to get a potion. I mean, it's just a wild, fun movie. And so I like to watch that on Halloween time. I used to watch as a kid. I mean, I freaking watched the crap out of that VHS.
Yeah.
Since Mark stole my Night of the Demons, I'm gonna say Night of the Demons 2. So, because they always take place on Halloween, because that's the whole thing.
Yeah,
so.
all of them.
Yeah.
I can't. For whatever reason, man, I could never get into 2 as much.
Oh,
I
really?
like the third one, and everyone seems to hate the third one.
People hate the third one because the characters are pretty much scumbags. That's why I don't like it.
That's why it's fun to watch them get killed. Yeah, I have
But,
that on bootleg.
I
I don't
the
even know
second
if that has an official release.
It did in Canada, but I think it's out of print now. And it was slightly edited too. I think like some of the language got edited, like almost like it was like the nudity wasn't edited, but like the language was edited in some parts. It was weird. It was a weird DVD, man. I've seen it before. I've watched it, but I was like, what is this? This is weird. I don't know, but there was an official. We need a Blu-ray of it though, because I'd still pick it up.
Yeah,
because I've got
that, man.
yeah,
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I've got the other. I mean, the other ones are on Blu-ray. 1, 2, and the remake are on Blu-ray. So we're just missing 3.
We're just missing that. Yeah, I'd hate to double dip. I don't have 2 on Blue though. I do have the DVD.
Olive Films put that out on Blue a couple of years ago. It's a good Blue. But yeah, I like Night of the Demons too. It's a fun movie. It's not as good as the first one, but you have what's her face coming back as Angela.
I
can't think of it.
But it's just, I love the first one so much, man. I don't know what it was. Like when I went into 2, I just felt let down.
Yeah. You're just mad because there's no Linnea Quigley with her special trick. That's what it's showing.
Maybe so. You might be right. You can have all the candy they want.
Right.
And Isaiah took my Hocus Pocus because that's a good one too.
Yeah, that's a must watch every year.
But I'll throw an independent movie out there. The Barn.
Yep.
It's not a bad movie. It's not super great. Some people make it out to be like the next big thing, but it never was.
It was way overhyped to me before I saw it. So.
It was
wasn't a
overhyped,
bad movie.
but it's entertaining. You have Linnea Quigley in a small role. You have Eric Lehman, the first Jason. He's in there in a small role. The costumes of the creatures, were really good. And it was cool, just the backstory of the movie itself. With the guy who made the movie, he wrote and directed it. He came up with the story when it was like Adam Green when he was a kid, and he had story, like, journals of just stories he wrote about these evil entities, and he got to finally make a movie out of it. And it's a good independent movie, and I like to support independent cinema. So I bought the DVD and I also bought the Blu-ray when the Blu-ray came out finally. And of course I waited on the Blu-ray because they wanted like $40 for it for like a year, and I'm like, forget that crap. This is not worth $40.
Right.
But that takes place on Halloween. It's a fun movie.
I watched one, man. Unfortunately, I can't give anyone the title, so maybe someone else can remember. But I want to say it was either Halloween Night or Jacko, which are both movies, but I don't know if that's the correct name for this one. But they centered on the fact of the people eating the pumpkin seeds and how the one killer was always leaving pumpkin seeds behind. It's an independent flick. It was pretty decent, though.
Huh.
I might have to do more research to find out what that one was. It's just something that just crossed my mind.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
About it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what that is, but it sounds cool as hell.
Now I'm gonna mention my favorite, The Bye Bye Man. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I still haven't seen that movie, and I don't plan on ever seeing it.
I haven't seen the movie either. I refuse to because the name is so stupid in the first place. The Bye Bye.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Well, I remember when the trailers for that came out, I was just
quite
like,
as
you gotta be
good as
kidding.
Stabby Christmas.
That I would watch. I would watch a movie called Stabby Christmas.
Damn right
Yeah.
I would,
Yes.
man.
It's a bummer too because Derek Mears is the killer in Bye Bye Man, and I feel just bad because he's in it because he's such a nice guy.
Yeah, Derek Mears is
one-
awesome.
I watched Predators and I hated that movie, but
Right.
I enjoyed him, I guess.
Mark saved me
was
from
covered.
Mark saved me from seeing Predators. He said it sucked, and I was like, I thought it would.
Yeah,
and I was like,
don't.
Thank you for
Don't,
letting me
please
know.
Actually, skip ahead to the samurai scene and then stop watching. Because that was freaking badass.
Yeah. Definitely wasn't the greatest movie in the world, that's for sure.
Ah, man. Topher Grace ruined that movie.
Yeah.
Oh, Predators!
already bad.
I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the new one, The Predator, or whatever it was called. Yeah, I saw Predators in theater, and I hated it.
Yeah, The Predator, don't watch.
Yeah.
Just don't.
I just leave it at Predator and Predator 2. Like those are the only two good
Yes.
ones in the franchise.
And I think Predator 2 doesn't get enough love, although Predator 1 was better.
Yeah, I
it
don't
was
think Predator
better.
2 gets enough love either, man.
2's
That was a
underrated.
fun
It's
movie.
great.
Yeah.
I played the Xbox game, the Concrete Jungle. That game was freaking awesome.
Killing what can't be killed.
Yeah.
Love that scene.
I was just waiting for him to say, I'm getting old for
Predator
this.
2's awesome. I mean, it's set in L.A. during a heat wave. You got a younger Predator on the hunt. I like it. I thought it was great.
A younger Predator and an older prey.
Yes. Oh, Danny Glover. And their fight is awesome throughout the last
Yeah.
act of the
Yeah,
movie.
man.
They're on the rooftops of the buildings. You think the Predator's going to blow up the, part of the city like what happened at the end of part 1? He cuts the arm off before he could do it. And I was like, this is great. And then the fight in the spaceship.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know what that is, but I don't want you doing
Yes. He just takes that blade and he just... Oh, man, I love it.
Oh, good stuff. Any other horror movies, or any movies, rather, set around Halloween that you guys can think of?
Well, there is Disney's The Little Mermaid that I want. I'm just kidding.
Just wait, the live version will come out.
God.
Oh,
We
gosh.
need to make a movie so we can kill Ted.
Enough with the live
I
action.
mean, I love the Garfield Trick or Treat one, or whatever it's called, the Garfield Halloween special. I always thought that was fun. Man.
Hey, it's a great
Growing
pumpkin.
up,
It's the
I
Great Pumpkin
always
show,
liked
dude.
Halloween Town.
Okay.
Now that I've
It
never
was-
seen, and I know of it. I actually made
it's silly and goofy, but it's a
Yeah.
good family. It'd be something good to watch with your kids.
I made a couple copies of that for my wife's sister when she was a kid. So I've never seen them though.
Yeah, I haven't
But,
seen them.
I think they got 3 of them, man. Believe it or not, something like that.
Probably.
It was popular enough to have sequels. So.
All right. Well, these are just some of our favorites. You know, if there's any others out there that you guys know of, you know, feel free to let us know. Or what do you guys like for Halloween-themed movies that aren't in the Halloween franchise? You can definitely let us know through our social media. As we say every week, we are on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all at CLS Podcast. Well, we got 2 more podcasts coming out here before the end of the end of the month, so I'm sure we're going to be talking some more Halloween stuff here over the next 2 weeks. But until next time, guys, we hope that you guys have a good rest of the week. Enjoy this fall Halloween weather. And as Ted always says,
Slayer next week.
Thanks for joining us today for the CLS Podcast. Check us out at www.clspodcast.com or join in the conversation on social media with the hashtag CLS Podcast. Until next time, stay safe, campers.